Welcome to the George FTTV YouTube channel. Today we'll discuss the trades I'm doing heading into round 4 and we'll go over team sheets as well. So yeah, we'll get straight into it and maybe a quick review of Collingwood Carlton as well. My trades this week, it's not good to boost, but here we are. It's a good week to boost, I think, because I think you want Marriage, you want Moraes, you want Bice, and you want maybe Humphrey. So there's like 4 guys that are going to make a lot of money very quickly. All have big scores in their system, like 90 plus. Like Bice, some people are concerned about job security. I just think, that 90 in this system is going to make a lot of money on kick-ins. So prepared for that to take that risk if he doesn't have job security. But I think he will play in the short term at least on form. Moraes looks good. I don't think Butters coming in matters too much for him. Accumulator, so he looks good. And nice matchup as well, Saints this week. Ryan Merrick, I think some people asked me to put in order Bice, Merrick, Humphrey, and Moraes. I guess you can put Langford in there too, is pretty good, who would probably take any other week. I think I wrote down Bice first. I've changed my mind. I think Merrick is number 1. I think the role is just incredibly good, and they've also brought in a key defender, so I like Marriage as number 1, so there's no way I'm passing on him. I'm getting him in fantasy too. These are my fantasy trades if anyone cares. I'm going to get Andy and then Marriage. Unfortunately, I missed Moraes in that format, which is annoying, but yeah, prioritising upgrades. So I've got Marriage first. I'm probably going to go Bice second, Moraes third, Humphrey 4. I think Humphrey looks really good. Played easy opposition. The DT scores, I don't think they're that high for Humphrey. So, and that's just his role. It's 79 DT. It's probably the 2 easiest matchups. I think it's West Coast and Melbourne are struggling pretty badly. So I think they're, in the mix of like bottom 4, the way they're playing. Melbourne were okay round 1, but still, midfield's getting hammered. So that's my order. Humphrey I think is still a fine pickup. Will make money. Good on-field option. Don't doubt that he's sub at all. But yeah, I think he's just a bit too much forward to put up 90 plus every week. But I think he can do in the 80s. They're my trades. Trading out DeConning and Horne-Francis I think is a fine hold. Look, if there's any game he's going to bounce back, it's the one where he comes out on radio and speaks about the reviews that they did during the week and that him and Connor have got to be better, basically. So if there's any week to bounce back, this is the one. And it's a classic Ken Hinckley bounce back game. They get a soft matchup. They've been disappointing. They're probably out for blood this game. And then it's at some point they're back to being like Port Adelaide, whatever they've been over the past 10 years. The home and away, decent, but they can have form slumps and whatnot. So I think he's a fine hold. I have to get Bailey Smith, especially in this matchup, and unfortunately, Horne-Francis is my avenue. I don't think he's top 6, but we'll see what happens with Petrarca and Chad Warner. So that'll be interesting. Papley's out, so maybe that. I don't know if that affects Warner. I don't know. We'll find out. So they're my trades. Captains, I blew my VC on Tom de Koning, who I was a bit lazy with captains. I was looking at Darcy Cameron losing hitouts to Sweet, and he lost hitouts to Tim English. So I thought maybe de Koning can go well, just like a soft, like I'd take a 120, but only the 101. I don't think I'll take it, but I'm half tempted because I'm struggling to pick a captain. At the moment, it's on Bailey Smith. His DT is, I think, 112 average, so I do worry about his kicking. I feel very nervous captaining Baz, though. I don't know if you see a captain here. I'm not comfortable captaining Sherry off this hamstring awareness. Andy's record against the Dogs doesn't seem brilliant. 73 last year. Though that was at Marvel. I've no idea who to captain this week. I I don't think I want to captain Dawson against Gold Coast away. Shizu at the SCG, I think it is. Where are they playing? Oh, they're at Marvel. Shizu, if he goes to halfback, I think he could be a decent shout, but I worry, could they send a tag to him? Honestly, I have no idea who to captain here. It's probably Rosie, to be honest, but there's a doubt of Winhager, but I think he'll go to Butters, but who knows? Like, it's hard to know. At the moment, on Baz, like I thought about McRae. I'll stop harping on about captains, but McRae historically has been okay at Adelaide Oval. I worry because Port play high possession uncontested, so maybe less stoppages. Got to make a decision. Baz or McRae. Anyway, team lineup. So Collingwood versus Carlton. This game just happened. Actually, I want to say one more thing on this week. This is very important. I've never considered myself an advice channel. This is what I think, and then do whatever you want with that information. Got to be careful when you're trading out play. I know I traded out Will Ashcroft. I was dumb because I wanted to fix R2, but it is what it is. But I think just on rookies, be very careful what rookies you trade out. I remember a few years ago, I traded out, I think it was James Jordan in his SuperCoach rookie year, and I think he went on to make 400k. I think he dropped 240s, traded him out, and then he just killed me for the rest of until the buys. So what I'm trying to say is we got a lot of dead rookies at the moment or temporarily dead. I think Hewitt has a calf issue. I don't know how long. Never, we don't know the timeline. Sardis and Lindsay should be back in 1 to 2 weeks. Sardis next week, especially with Cordwell out, and then Lindsay as well. 1 to 2. He's moved to halfback, so the role is good. And let me check how much he's traded out. 40%. So I noticed in fantasy, he's quite heavily been traded out, I think. 24%. I reckon that was about 40, 50 maybe at one point. So, yeah, just careful who you trade out because these players, yes, their cash gen is stalled at the moment, but they're fieldable and they're going to make money when they come back. Lindsay is at halfback. Sardis is a CBA mid, and they've got injuries in the midfield. Caldwell's out for a few weeks. Parrish is a little bit unknown. I heard that he was pulled up a little bit sore at training last week, but that's as far as I know. That's just a track watcher, but yeah. And Never is another one. Like Chris Scott, honestly, does my head in. I say that every week he does my head in, but he said that he would have been in there 22 this week if it wasn't for his foot issue. So if you had to trade one, I guess Never, because we don't actually know the timeline, but I would like to find out a timeline because I don't trust Geelong at all. They haven't given us any information. At least we will know maybe if it's minor or not. Is it a week? Is it 5 weeks? Who knows? Okay. I'm going to hang on to Nevitt because I think there's a potential to make a lot of money here, and I just want to assess until we get an injury timeline. So I'm just being a bit careful. Hewitt is one I'd happily let go because he's not an accumulator, and he's, yes, Nevitt is a sub-risk, although Chris Scott said he'd be in the 22. But I don't think Hewitt can hurt you. I don't want him anywhere near the field ever. Whereas if Nevitt's starting in the 22, Sardis or Lindsay, I'm actually okay fielding them. So Hewitt, I'd let go. I'm okay with that. But very annoying that he's done a calf, but very injury prone. So I'm going to hold out of necessity, but that's my 2 cents. Just be careful who you trade out. Lindsay and Sardis, do not trade them out. I don't care who it gets you. Don't trade them. Anyway, moving on. Collingwood versus Carlton. Carlton's 0-4. They're pretty much done for the year. It's just too hard to come back from that. And I watch... Yeah, it's the bottom end plays as well. Like the skill issues, especially out of defense, like turnovers and a lot of plays that are just not clean below ground level. Like you watch Nick, he's just so clean when the ball was in his vicinity. Probably Cher's one is pretty clean as well. Rarely makes a mistake. So I liked his game. Did get a bit of junk, but even their forwards, just a lot of forwards, specifically Kemp and Moya didn't do much. Kemp just not a clean player at all. So look, in terms of SuperCoach, Nick is you can't go Nick because he's got James Jordan next week. He turned it on in the third quarter. Cop George Hewitt today, but wouldn't surprise me if he got votes just because of his third quarter was when
the game was there to be won. Sometimes I watch him off the ball. He walks a bit funny or a little bit proppy. I wonder if and he did get his leg looked at, I think in the third or fourth quarter. So I do wonder if that plantar fasciitis is still affecting him a little bit. It's going to steer clear, at least for the time being. He should be fine, though. It was amazing in that third quarter. And then, TDK disappointing VC, so well done if you went another route. I like Cooper Lord. I just sent a tweet. I kind of want to trade him in. Roll looks really good, and did fade out the game a bit, but to be real, you just can't because of the sub risk, so I shouldn't really even entertain him, but I like him. I think he's a good player, or decent player, so I think they've got a bit to work with, and young, so I think they should persist with him. Geelong versus Melbourne, so Stewart and Manor in, never out, Jai Clark out. Interesting close he holds. I think he's got sub vest written all over him. I don't think Manor should be sub. Maybe it's just because his first game back, but apparently killed it in the VFL. So SDK, this is good if you're holding SDK. I'm holding him in other format. In SuperCoach, his break-even's a little bit high, and I figure I need to get these cash makers in, so he's the one that's made way for me. I think he can score okay. He scored 50 last week, and watching him play, very clumsy, very not clean at all, dropping marks, not clean it. When a player goes to get at ground level, you just know they're not going to pick it up cleanly. A bit wet as well. He was extremely frustrating. Gave away 4 clangers in the first 15 minutes, including a 15-meter penalty. Honestly, he should be doing 80s, which is okay, but he's not making any money because he has 2 terrible scores in his system. So I'm holding him in other formats. Might be a bit rough against Gorn this week, but SuperCoach, not a keeper, close to max price. I think he can go. Not the worst hold though. I'll say that. Connor O'Sullivan, very painful rookie miss. Looks a star back there. Probably could win the Rising Star. Can't see how they drop him. In terms of Melbourne, they've brought in a few players. Lindsay out, injured obviously, but Henderson holds and named on the field. Sometimes this changes in Sunday teams, but usually if they're named on the field, they're not a sub. But I think I've seen it happen once this year. I can't remember with who. So, he's a hold, obviously. Bowie's been scoring okay, but it's hard to trust when May's taken 90% of kick-ins. Gold Coast versus the Crows, I'm very excited about this game. Disappointed that we lost Matt Crouch, and I think good to see Nankervis back in. I think he's decent, and then Lockie Murphy replacing Shelley. I know that's upset a few Crow supporters. Tries really hard, but doesn't have any real weapons at all. But I don't know about that. I feel like there's a few others that they could have done, but I think that you might be thinking, okay, Rochelle's out. What does that mean for Rankin? I think Matthew Nick said during the week, we want Rankin around the ball at all times, or as much as possible, something like that. So I wouldn't worry about Rankin. More forward time, I think they want him mid. If anything, this probably helps Dawson a bit and Peatling. In terms of they've taken out a mid and they haven't really brought one in. So I think this is good for Crows mids. If you have Dawson, Rankin, this is good for them. It's a guy that gets 25, 30 touches a game is now out of that. So there's more points to go around. That's how I see it anyway. Flanders a bit of a watch, just wait and see. Limited preseason, so not in a hurry to get Sam Flanders at the right price. We'll assess what he's like then. Humphrey as well. Took spending a bit of time forward as well. I just can't see how Humphrey does 90 plus. In the long term anyway. Maybe in the short term he can, but you got Graham plus the other 4 mids. It's just too much, I think. But he's a jet, Humphrey. Curtin as well, not the worst 200k trade in. I think he's been brilliant the past 2 weeks, but easier position. That's enough on that game. I think we can speed this up a bit. Richmond, not really relevant at all this year, apart from trainer. So make sure if you have a read-in prior, you can just put the E on trainer, and then there's actually no point because I'm not taking TDK BC, but Not to loop, but yeah, you can just chuck the C on one of the Essendon boys if that's easy for you. Yeah, Layla, I think you can hold or he can make way, but if you need someone else, but I think he'll get to like high 200s eventually. Brisbane, I think not owning Dane Zorko. If you don't own Dane Zorko, I think you just don't watch this game, to be honest. It's going to be rough. And then you got Dunkley and Nia. One of them's just going to go berserk. And yeah, Will. Where's Will at? Where the hell is he named? I'm blind. I can't see. Okay, on the bench. Disrespectful. Big fan of Will. Nice hold if you did. Obvious hold, in fact, but I don't want to talk about it. I can't see Levi being sub with Will McLaughlin or Bruce playing. I just can't see it. Maybe a sub. Actually, against Richmond, as long as they go well, like there's no point in subbing out Levi. I'm fine fielding him. Scored 30 last week is what it is. He's on my field. Sydney looks like we got a new rookie or two new rookies here. Whitlock and Cleary. So I think they liked Cleary in the preseason, but he did get done for Coke or something like that. So Whitlock apparently had a lot of touches in the VFL. Not a massive scorer in juniors. I think it's hard to tell because bit of forward, bit of back, but he's cheap, defender forward. So two rookies we can look at in a few weeks, hopefully. Papley's out for a while, so I think Cleary's job security should be good. Looking at this defense, this interchange, I think it's Sheldrick has to be sub here. I can't see him not being sub. I think, yeah, it's Sheldrick. Could it be Cleary? I don't know, but I think it's Sheldrick. And then looking at here, I wouldn't be surprised if, Sullivan's sub, although I think they want to persist, or like a Dylan Stevens maybe. I think they'd rather Stevens than start subbing Finn O'Sullivan, but Finn can go. Like, you can keep him, make a little bit more money, but he's just doesn't have the ceiling in him, unfortunately. I mean, he did in the practice game, but yeah, I think I've seen enough where he just doesn't find enough bowl, and it's just not happening. Giants first West Coast. So they've said that Sandy Brock's debuting, so he's 99k. I think his numbers are quite poor in the Waffle, I think, or juniors, from what I remember. But he's a key defender. He's the McGovern replacement. So just see how he goes. If he does really well, maybe we can look at him downgrading one of these Essendon guys. But I think Essendon boys, they're going to make a lot of money. So I think they're like another at least 3 or 4 week holds, I think, with those two. And it's encouraging that they played well, so maybe that helps their job security, because I do see a lot of people, a lot of Essendon supporters not the biggest fans of Pryor, and yeah, I think it was good for Zach Reid's confidence as well to play well. Gross looks good in the preseason from what I read. He's a watch. Clay Hall in. Again, it's extended squad, so sub-risk as well. So we'll watch these rookies. So we're definitely getting some rookies. I don't think any of them are as good as a Moraes or Bice, though. So I'd grab them if you can. McGovern out, Ryan out, Hewitt out. So you're paying the ass having Hewitt out, because just have, like, who am I downgrading first? Like, it's probably Henderson if he keeps playing, but like, I don't have anyone to downgrade because their cash gen's all stalled. So I don't know. That's alright. A bit of talk about Harley Reid going back. I don't know. We saw Harley Reid in the preseason last year play halfback. It looked absolutely lost back then. Yeah, they've got a problem that they need to fix, because he's not fit, and half forward, you need a big tank to play half forward. So I don't know what they do with him. Yeah, I would just keep playing him mid, maybe lower his tog a bit. I don't know. Port versus St Kilda. So yeah, Soldo out, not surprising. Steele's back, so if you have Garcia, I mean, this is a problem. Steele and McRae are basically hogging 80% CBA, so unless they do something there, like the CBAs aren't going to be there for Garcia, because he's going to have lower tog, and they can run... who are they running in there? They ran Winhager in there full time. Geez, I didn't realize that how much time they gave Windy. Garcia 58. So unfortunately, yeah, like Steele and McRae, they're just gonna hog 80+%. I think it's hard to see it not happening. Plus Windy, they put Zach Jones in there. I mean, I think they'd be very stupid not to make Garcia their third CBA mid. So I think you can hold him, but I wouldn't trade into him just because the TOG and the roll probably won't be good enough. But if you held in fantasy, I think it was a nice hold. Boxer as well coming in, maybe. I can't remember if that was actually announced or not. Maybe it's just extended. Not much else to tell here. Butters is back. Look, expect to bounce back from Horn Francis and Rosie. Now, that's why Windhager's in there, because he's tagging. So, I think Ross would want to win this game. I think he can sense, like, the Saints, I think they know where they're at, but they're still trying to win, obviously. And they're capable. Like, they're not, I don't think they're terrible. Like, I think there's 5, 6, maybe 7 other clubs that are worse than them, in my opinion. But, yeah, it's going to be tough. Port have had the wood over them for a while, but yeah, I think they probably will tag with Windy. You would think it's Butters. It will always be Butters if all things are like, if he's fully fit, ready to go. I'd be surprised if they went to Rosie, but I think because he's captain, they might try and like break his spirit or something. I don't know. I think they go straight to Butters personally, but we'll see. I'm going to stop clicking the wrong tabs. Moving on to Freo. So it looks like Darcy and I think Young will play some sort of footy this week. I think Waffle maybe, something like that. So yeah, these ins are interesting. Wagner and O'Meara, I think they come straight back in the 22. I think Erasmus, Warner, Reedy, Brody, those 4 don't play. So one sub, it's probably New Erasmus. So I don't think you can go there as a SuperCoach pick. See his rookie price. Looking at the Dogs, I kind of hope they put Freya in the back line for my own sake because I have him in other formats. But I mean, I think if you straight field Davidson now, I know he's not going to give us big scores every week, but he's got a ceiling, we can see that, and I don't want to risk not having that on field, especially in the best 18 weeks. So he must be on the field, in my opinion. But yeah, I think Bont's maybe 3 weeks away. So yeah, what was interesting is I can bring in Andy in other formats, but when Amir was getting a lot of CBAs, but I think it was the tag. So anyway, that's the team. So we've got a few rookies. We've got Whitlock. We've got the West Coast rookies. Can't remember who else. Cleary. We'll have options, I think. I think one of them will come through for us. Most likely, I think Cleary. But we'll see. Cherry got scaled down. I thought he tonned. That's okay. So, yeah, I need a captain. I think I'm just going to send Baz. GMHBA, Melbourne. They're a mess. Baz running machine. Probably do a calf. Yeah, I'm going to captain Baz. Oh boy. That makes me a bit nervous. But anyway, that's it from me. Yeah, hopefully you have a good week in SuperCoach. Hopefully you haven't used too many trades like me. In terms of next week, it's probably just get short up with this 200k. And then maybe we'll grab another rookie for Hewitt, just depending on what's available. Or we can go Hewitt straight to Humphrey for 300k, but I don't think that's worth it. So, yep, happy to sit on this team. 2 defender rookies. I'm quite happy with this rookie setup. Even you could go 5th in O'Sullivan, but I think the ideal team is you have probably 3 rookies, to be honest. And you have Zorko, you have Sinclair, you have Roberts, and you have mids, whatever good mids are going off, like Dunkley or whoever. Probably Sherry TDK. Sherry was quite unlucky with the hammy, but... And then I think this forward setup, I'm extremely happy with that. So see how we go. But yeah, bit of work to do, make up ground. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.